We worked with him for a year. So.
I can imagine how that was, coach.
Gents, I'm just waiting for everyone to log on.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Sean. We're
Hello,
just waiting for the media guys to log on, and then we'll commence. Okay, we're going to kick off, and then the other guys can join us. Good evening, media, once again with us, Chelsea Sharks head coach Sean Everitt. I'm going to open the floor for questions.
Sean, quite an amazing turnaround from the first half to the second half there, especially that third quarter. You guys really were inspired. What for you was the reason for that turnaround? What happened?
Yeah, we're always going to bounce back tonight anyway after a horrendous performance last week. But yeah, the first half, unfortunately, you can't play much rugby if you give away 13 penalties. You know, we've been really good in that department in the last few games that we've played. You know, we've conceded on the average of 9, and tonight we conceded 13 in the first half. And if you concede that amount of penalties, you know, you're never going to have the ball and you're not going to put yourself into a position to score. But I think the positive out of that first half was the fact that we were able to get the 10 points. You know, when we got down into the goal zone on 2 occasions, we managed to convert. So that was something we worked on this week. So we're very happy with that. And I was very proud in the way the guys stood up physically against the Bulls in the first half and kept them out with some really good maul defense.
Sean, obviously significant changes at fly-half and perhaps fullback. You want to talk about that? I mean, it had a big impact, especially on defense in that second half.
Yeah, it did have a big impact. You know, Lionel's an experienced rugby player. We know he's been around the block for some in South Africa, and he's been playing really good rugby in Japan for the last 5 years. So, yeah, it was good to have Lionel back. He adds a lot of value off the field, and he certainly showed tonight what experience can do. Not taking anything away from the flowers that we have here at the Sharks, but you know, sometimes an older head under pressure makes better decisions, and that's just how life works. So I'm really proud of the way Lionel went, and obviously I think Grant Williams certainly gave him good service from the base of the scrum for him to be able to showcase his talent. So happy with our 9 and 10 tonight.
Could it be a more permanent move, that role that way around, 10 and 15?
Yeah, and, you know, as I've said before, we've got to look at our whole squad during this Currie Cup, and obviously a win as well. So yeah, it is tricky. I suppose one is tempted to play Lionel week in and week out, but he won't be here for Pro 16. So you know, we need to manage that process and manage our selection according to our needs going forward. But yes, he had a great game tonight, and he certainly did well when he came off the bench last week against Crickers as well.
So do you have to tap into that wisdom before he moves away? Sorry again.
Sorry, Jan?
Okay, Jan.
I say you have to tap into that wisdom before he moves.
Yes, definitely.
Sean, just on Grant Williams, you've been asked sort of numerous times in the last year or so about your many scrum halves and their differing strengths, and you always talk about Grant Williams being so quick, having such pace. Just how much do you think his speed from retreating scrums or tap penalties tonight really was tremendous? How much do you think that sparked the team?
Yeah, you know, Grant is an electric player. We know that. So excuse the pun. Yeah, he did spark the team, but he you know, he's got pace. I'm just proud of this little guy. You know, he had 3 years of adversity, had injury after injury, hung in there, played a lot of club rugby for College Rovers, and didn't get many opportunities in the Sharks jersey. And, you know, certainly this year with the opportunities that he's had, he's grabbed them with both hands, but he works extremely hard at his game. He's probably one of our hardest workers from an individual point of view. And it's so great to see him get man of the match tonight because it's thoroughly deserved for all his hard work that he's put in. He is probably, I don't know for a fact, but he's definitely the quickest 9 in South African rugby, that's for sure. You know, he's not far behind Mapimpi over 40 meters. So, yeah, very, very quick. But most importantly, that his service that he's been giving to our 10s has been outstanding in the games that he's played for us in the Currie Cup.
Sean, hi there. Just on your halftime talk, I know discipline would have been one of the key things, and also getting things right in the scrum that you did for most of the second half. But if you can just elaborate on what was the talk in the halftime.
Yeah, I think, you know, from a defensive point of view, I think the positives we took out of the first half, as I said earlier, was our maul defense. You know, we gave them, like I said, we gave away 13 penalties and they had opportunities to maul, to score. And I thought the guys were outstanding in that department. So you've got to tick that box. From a physicality point of view, we really stood up well against them. And then obviously the work-ons in the second half was the discipline and obviously the scrum penalties that we gave away. So we made a change in the front row, and sometimes a change like that might manipulate the referee's decisions a little bit. But the 2 props that came on did themselves proud and certainly helped us out of a spot of bother.
Are there any
Also,
further?
yeah, this side here. Also, I think someone else who stood out, Leroux Roots, he's been so amazing since he joined you guys. He had to work on things like fitness and other things, but how good is it to see him in full flight?
Yeah, I'm also happy for him as an individual. You know, he's been at the Pumas for quite a few years. He came and joined us for Super Rugby last year and played really, really well, and ended up going back to the Pumas and then had a few injuries as well. But, you know, with what he showed us in Super Rugby last year is that we wanted him back because he had, you know, made such an impact amongst the group as well as in Super Rugby coming off the bench. So, yeah, it's good to see a guy like that who gets rewarded for the hard work that he puts in, just like Grant. And he certainly does help us in go forward from a physicality point of view, but more importantly, more stoppages and on our maul attack.
Just following on from that, the Sharks have been criticised a bit in the last sort of year for maybe the pack not having the same sort of grunt as the Bulls, or, you know, if it gets into a really tight physical contest. But I mean, tonight, the way you guys stopped the Mauls, as you said, and the pack really fronting up, that must stand you in good stead for European competition, because you're going to get a lot of mauling and strong packs to deal with over there, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's pretty much like playing South African derbies in and out. And you saw in the Rainbow Cup that the physical battle up front was immense. But yes, it does. I think what we need to work on now is that we get consistency in our performance. You know, we weren't happy with the performance of our pack last week, who at times got dominated by Griquas. So it was a big turnaround for the guys, and well done to them. But our work on is definitely consistency in that department. You can't be good one week and then, you know, let it slip the next. So we've got 2 massive challenges coming up front against the Pumas. You know, they pride themselves with their aggressive pack that they have and their set piece. So, you know, we've got to build on this performance tonight and take it to Nelspruit on Wednesday afternoon.
Final 2 questions.
Sean, just quickly, no injuries?
No injuries at this stage.
Leighton, go ahead with your final question.
Sean, just on those 2 games, do you keep things the same after building momentum tonight against the top of the log Bulls, or do you switch things up to give guys a proper rest before that off week and then carrying into the rest of the competition?
Yeah, we've got like I said, we've got a busy schedule next week, so we will freshen up our squad. There's other guys that will get opportunities to play, and it's something that we've discussed in our team meetings. I believe that in a competition like this, and going into a lengthy competition like Pro 16, it's important that we service our own needs and give individuals good game time. Otherwise, they're going to Pro 16. If you have injuries, they're going cold. But I tell you what it does do for us as a group is that it does add to the dynamics of the squad and the team spirit when everyone's involved in playing. So we've managed to do that, just like when we played against the British and Irish Lions in Johannesburg and Pretoria. We took 34 guys up in the bubble and everyone had a game. So we're trying to grow depth in our squad and we're trying to give the youngsters experience so that we can get consistency out of them going forward.
Gents, thank you very much for your time. Sean, thank you for your time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Navashni.
Bye.
Sean, thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.